Hey, how's everybody doing today? We are going live today talking about the coronavirus and how we are dealing with this as a family. My name is Michael.
I'm Diane.
And we run this channel together on some days. Most days it's Diane, but today we're coming together to talk about this very important issue. So we're going to talk about the things that we know. There's a lot that we don't know about the virus. But we're going to talk about today the things that we do know and how we can approach this and possibly how you can approach this. Because things seem to be kind of crazy out there right now. I mean, people are, there's all kinds of rumors about how you can contract this virus and things to fight it. And people are buying up toilet paper in Costco and everything else. Okay, so how do we approach this? How do we deal with this? So that's some of the things we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, so do us a favor in the comment section. If your life has been affected by the coronavirus in any way, put a 1 in the comment section. Whether it's you went to the store and your favorite thing was out of stock, or something in your life has been canceled because of the coronavirus, or maybe you've decided to cancel something. So put a 1 in the comment section if you have been affected by the coronavirus, and we're going to share with you some of the things that we have been affected by it, some of the decisions that we've made, and how it is we are using this lifestyle that we have already created to really keep ourselves safe and sane during such an uncertain time. So, like I said, we've already been affected by the coronavirus in a lot of different ways. The first thing I guess was our son's trip to London with school in May was canceled as a precautionary measure. The school has canceled all international travel. So that was the first thing that kind of made us go, maybe this is getting serious. And then what was the other thing?
We canceled our vacation to Disneyland, and that was by our kids' choice.
Yeah, so we were scheduled to go to Disneyland. We were going to leave this weekend, and we were going to go for about 4 days. Now, keep in mind, our kids are almost adults. We have a 13-year-old and a 19-year-old, and we've been to Disneyland a gazillion times because we used to live in California. So it wasn't like it was the first time we were ever planning on going or anything like that. But we sat down with them and we said, hey, here's the situation. Here are some of the things that are going on. Here's what it's going to be like at Disneyland, because Disneyland on a good day is nasty as far as germs go and being around a bunch of different people. And so everywhere you go in Disneyland, you touch things. You touch the ride handles, you touch the rides, you're touching stuff, handrails, whatever. And not only we always are really precautious about washing our hands and using hand sanitizer and all that stuff, but now it's gonna have to like level up. And we thought, okay, is that even gonna be a fun time with everything that you have to do now as the extra safeguard? And so the kids were like, we'd rather just stay home. So they were the ones that actually made the call for us to cancel our spring break.
And this was before
it
got really crazy. You know, we knew that it was coming down the pike, and to be honest, some of our friends thought, what's wrong with you guys? Like, why would you cancel your trip? Like, you know, because it wasn't even really here yet, but we knew at, at some point it's going to get here. And that's another thing we want to talk about is like, all the hysteria and people are believing all different things. I had a discussion just yesterday with a friend of mine. He's like, oh, it's just overhyped. It's really not that bad. It's no worse than the flu. People, this is not a drill. This is worse than the flu, because the reason why it's worse than the flu is because we don't know anything about it. It's a corona. We've had coronas before. We've dealt with SARS in the recent past, and it's a corona is something that attacks your lungs. The thing that makes it more dangerous than a flu virus is that we don't know what it is. We don't know how to deal with it. There's so many unknowns. So if we knew more about how to deal, we know how to deal with the flu. We know that you can take Tamiflu. You can do certain things to remedy a flu to get you through it. Even though there's still a lot of thousands of people die from the flu every year, this is true. But when you have something that you don't know anything about and you don't know how to remedy it, and you don't know when it gets hot in the summer, is it just going to go away, or does it stay? We don't know these things because we've never dealt with this COVID-19, so we have no idea. So it makes it different.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about what you can do to kind of safeguard yourself, because the reality of any of these kind of outbreaks, even if it is just the winter flu, is how prepared are you and how prepared is your immune system? So we talk a lot here in this community about how intermittent fasting really does give your body an opportunity to reboot itself and repair a lot of the damage that is going on internally. Some of it we don't know about, and we're grateful that our body knows how to take care of it. And other things are things that have surfaced. So we already know through so much of the new scientific data that is out that intermittent fasting is an opportunity for your body to reboot its own immune system. So in this community, if you've been practicing intermittent fasting and you have a immune system that you feel is rebooted because you are seeing positive signs and signals because of this lifestyle that you've created, you have an edge up already. So know that you already have a great opportunity because you've already proactively created a healthier lifestyle for yourself. I always really like to talk about here in this community about having those note cards in your hip pocket, right? So I always say like I am doing everything I can to live a healthy lifestyle so that in the event something does happen to me that might be out of my control, will I already face that in a healthy environment for my body? And so this is that time where if you're already doing things that are healthy, that you have a leg up, like I said. So intermittent fasting is one of those things. You can go deeper than intermittent fasting if you really want to give yourself a nice boost. A 3-day water fast is also being scientifically proven to really give your immune system that next level of boost that it needs to combat anything that might be coming in to attack your system. So intermittent fasting is great. 3-day water fast are another great way to just give your body that next level of immune system.
And why is it you want to have an improved immune system?
Well, because your immune system is what fights off disease, is what fights off these viruses. And so if you already have an immune system that's compromised, your body is already fighting a bunch of things. It just doesn't have the energy and the resources that it needs to combat a new enemy. And so having a boosted immune system just gives you the opportunity to start healthy and really have your body on alert for anything that's going to come in to attack it. And these of course are layman terms. Michael and I are not doctors. We do the same kind of research that you guys do. So we just want to share what we feel is really advantageous for us in this lifestyle that we share with you guys here.
And the things that we can control.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot about this that we have no control over. I mean, if you go to the grocery store and you hit a handle that you didn't wipe down that someone else had already touched and you touch your face, it's a done deal. I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to die.
No.
But if you have a suppressed immune system, the likelihood of you recovering is going to be harder than if not. So we want to have healthy immune systems. So if we do face a challenge, we can come through it, because a lot of people that are contracting the virus are not.
They're asymptomatic.
And they don't even know that they have. I mean, they feel like, oh, I have a little bit of a fever or whatever. I'm not feeling too good. I have a scratchy throat. And that's how it can spread really fast, because those people that don't have the serious symptoms think, well, I'm fine, and they're still out in society spreading it, spreading the virus.
Right, and that's the most frustrating part with viruses, is they can lay dormant in our system. And a lot of times, and I experienced this with shingles myself. Like, shingles is a virus, right? It starts out as the chickenpox virus, what a lot of us have when we're younger. And so under stressful conditions is when these viruses can kind of rear their ugly head. So you could walk around with the virus, such as the SARS or the coronavirus, and be super asymptomatic today, and then 10 years from now you end up having some stressful situation and some virus peeks its ugly head because now your body's being compromised because your immune system has been suppressed. So we want to make sure that we're constantly living a lifestyle where we are preceding health crises like this. Now that this has kind of become a crisis for a lot of people, we want to make sure that we're always living a lifestyle that is healthy, so that when something comes up like a coronavirus or even the flu season, we go into it strong-armed, right? As we talked about today, that we're going to strong-arm our way through this coronavirus. So keeping your immune system suppressed. Intermittent fasting, 3-day water fast will give you a boost.
Support it. So when your immune system not
suppressed.
Yeah,
not suppressed.
Make sure it's not suppressed.
Right, support it. Okay, some supplements you can take. Now, we're not going to talk about dosages or any of those kind of things, and a lot of these things you can get through food form. We can't give dosages because we're not qualified to do that, but these are things that we have in our everyday life, and we're just going to make sure that we're super diligent about including these in our day. So vitamin D, we already know how powerful vitamin D is. If you go into one of these situations, vitamin D deficient, you're kind of under the gun, right? And so you want to make sure you're getting these annual physicals. You want to make sure that you're getting your blood tested, making sure that you're not deficient in anything, vitamin D being one of those things. Now's a good time to probably just get a little bit extra vitamin D in your system. That will also help boost your immune system. Zinc is another one of those supplements that you want to make sure that you are keeping in your system during a time like this where you might be innocently exposed to something and you want to be able to have your body naturally fight it off. Selenium is another one of those antiviral type of supplements that you want to make sure that you keep in your system. You can get those very simply through Brazil nuts. I've talked about this here before. I studied a lot about selenium and the power of Brazil nuts when I was going through my holistic nutrition training, and how Brazil nuts are being used to help cure prostate cancer. So hey, if Brazil nuts could cure prostate cancer, it could keep something like the coronavirus hopefully at bay as well. So just go buy a bag of Brazil nuts and pop a couple in your mouth every day, or get a selenium supplement. And then we've talked about L-lysine here before as well, with things like, getting, cold sores or shingles, chicken pox, all those kind of viral type of things. Up your L-lysine right now as well, and just make sure that you have that nice protective coating on your immune system, because you just don't know. A lot of times we could all be walking around with mild cases of the coronavirus, and if we are primed and ready and our immune system is ready to attack it, we'll never feel it, right? But it's those poor people that we might be exposing to the coronavirus who aren't as diligent about their personal care. They're not as diligent about creating a healthy lifestyle for themselves. Those are the ones that are going to be at risk, and we don't want to be in that category.
And the scientists are saying that the people that it's affecting the most are 40 plus. And I know we've heard it's an old person's virus, and it's not. It's 40 plus. Well, some people might consider 40 old. 55 and 53.
Damn,
so,
I don't.
So we're like, man,
No.
we're at the end
Yeah.
here. But it's considered 40 plus. The good news and all that is children are not affected by this
Yet.
whatsoever. Although we just had a discussion about people that are vaping. Like if you're
A teenager.
If you're a teenager and you're vaping and your lungs are compromised, then you probably have a higher risk. We
Yeah.
haven't heard anybody say that, but we know that if you're a smoker, you probably should stop right now. And I don't apologize for saying that. Your lungs are compromised. So, and this virus is going to attack your lungs. So if you smoke, I mean, this is probably the best time to stop.
Right. So that's the thing to know about the coronavirus too, is that it is one of those types of viruses that settles into your lungs. So making sure that your lungs are really healthy, like Michael said, like now's not the time to be smoking or even be exposed to people who are smoking probably. And if you're have maybe a teenager in your home or a young person in your home that's vaping, because that seems to be the fad these days, make sure you have this conversation with them as well. We hear so many reports on the news about teenagers having these horrible lung infections because of vaping, and God forbid they get exposed to someone with the coronavirus at the same time. It's not going to look good for them. So protect your respiratory system. Make sure that your lungs are healthy. Make sure you're getting your supplements in. Make sure you're resting well. Make sure you're fasting long. Here in this community, make sure that those fasts are clean so that you can get the best benefit out of your time under a fasted state. And then make sure you're feasting well. Anytime we put our body into that feasted environment, we know we break that fast. We want to make sure that we're feasting well. And oftentimes in a stressful type of environment, and it's hard to avoid stress these days, especially if you're plugged into social media or the news, we tend to stress eat, right? Because we feel out of control and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And so make sure you're in control of your future. Make sure that when you're feasting, you're keeping your sugars as low as possible. You're feasting on as nutrient-dense foods as you can. Make sure that you have your house stocked with some, pretty readily available healthy food items. And don't let stress be that thing that's going to take you down. Stress is the thing that we control, right? It's our mindset we have about a situation, and we can predict our own outcome in these types of situations. But you have to be mindful about the choices that you're making and the lifestyle that you're creating for yourself. We're resuming resuming a lot of things as normal, with the exception of we canceled our vacation because the kids were not up for having to wash, extra super sanitize, and we weren't really up for managing that. So it was just a smart thing for us to do. But at home, we're going to resume life as normal. We have dinner plans on Friday nights. We're picking Logan up from school on Friday. They might cancel school for him even. A lot of universities
They're
have
already gone
gone to remote
colleges.
instruction, where they're just going to do courses at home via like webcasting. And so, we're prepared to have, when Logan comes home, like we're saying, pack in case you don't go back type of situation. Gabby's school already sent out a letter about what they're planning on doing, because this is a time of the year where so many people are traveling and they're coming back exposed probably from being just around different people and in different environments. And so just remember, you always have control of your own situation. You have control of your life. Sit down with the people that you love, have very rational conversations, execute a plan, and then just make sure that you're really diligent about what you're doing. We watched a video today, and anyone who's on our email list, we're going to send you guys links of the places that we're kind of doing some of our own research that's not frantic and it's very educational. But this little thing right here is a germ box, right? And so we think about washing our hands when we touch a door handle, when we leave a bathroom. Hopefully everyone's thinking about that. You're washing your hands. That's just part of what you do. But what if you walk into a bathroom and then you pick up your phone, and then you put your phone in your purse, and then you leave the restroom, you wash your hands, you use the paper towel to open the door, you throw it in the trash can, and then you go pick up your phone again. Like you didn't sanitize your phone. Or we oftentimes put our phones down on a table in a restaurant because we want to be present with our people, and then we pick our phone off that table and then we put it on our face. So all of those things that oftentimes are very mindless because it's just everyday stuff that we do, we should really make mindful right now, because this thing right here can be enough to knock you off your feet if you're not diligent about where your phone is going and what your habits are with that phone as well. Just leave it in your purse when you go out in public.
And the number one thing that we can do right now is to wash our hands. I mean, just wash your hands repeatedly. I mean, way more often than you normally do. And of course, people are talking about sanitizing wipes are all gone in the stores or whatever. And, there's even people saying, this is an overreaction. Listen, get those sanitizing wipes if you can. Wipe down. I mean, they even have it now at Costco. They have somebody out there wiping down all the stuff before you get a cart. It's smart. It's smart to wipe down every surface, because that's where you're going to get your viruses from surfaces.
The place you least, it's not going to be the bathroom. It's going to be putting your phone on a dirty table. It's going to be touching a door handle, then putting your phone in your purse
or something. You don't want to. You want to avoid touching your face all the time, without your hands being washed. You want to be really diligent about washing your hands right now and wiping down all surfaces.
And then just be smart. Like, make sure you're eating good food. We should always be eating good food. Make sure that you're not stress escaping into things. Like, make sure that you're taking your supplements. Make sure you're drinking your good water. Yes, you want to stay hydrated. That 100 to 150 ounces of water right now is exactly what you should be shooting for. Get those 20-hour clean fasts in. So in that 20-hour time frame, you are priming your immune system to be able to fight off something. All of this work that we have been doing in this community over the past few years is now coming into play for us. It's not about weight loss. It's not about wearing a certain size of jeans. It's, have we done the work to prime our immune system to fight off something that could be coming at us? And I believe that the work that we are doing here is doing exactly that for us. If you're that person that can fast for 3 days, throw in a 3-day fast this weekend and just put some water into your system and give your body that opportunity to really reboot itself. It is the best defense that we can have against anything like this that we really have no control over, for sure. And then, like Michael says, wash your hands even more. And then here's the other thing I want to say too, if you don't mind, is don't make fun of people who are doing things that are out of your norm, right? So we see a lot of hate going around social media right now, and even on the news, about people out buying toilet paper and people out buying hand sanitizer. Like, so what?
Buy toilet paper.
Yeah, buy toilet paper. I mean, we order ours from Amazon. We always have a stock of toilet paper in our house. We're probably frantic people 365 days out of the year, but that's just what we do. We don't ever want to be caught under the gun when we're out of control. And then use this as a lesson. Like, we never know when something's going to happen where we might be cut off from all of the things that we take for granted. Always have a supply of water in your house. Always have a supply of non-perishable foods. Always have a supply of small denomination bills in your home. Like, this is all stuff I learned when I went through disaster preparedness training, right? Always make sure you have a propane tank in your backyard that's full. Always make sure you have gas in your car. Always make sure that you're ready. And then that way, when something like this happens, you're not the person panicking, right? You're not the person trying to make up for lost time because your eye wasn't on the prize. The prize should always be living a very healthy lifestyle. Your priority should always be being ready in case something happens. And you don't have to be crazy about it. You don't have to be the downer person about it. It's just smart to make sure that your family and you are protected and you're prepared when anything happens.
Yeah, and I heard a friend say recently, oh yeah, people think the sky's falling. Well, the sky's not necessarily falling, but we just have to, we have to take some precautions. And this is real. Like I said at the beginning, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is for real. This is not the first or the last coronavirus that we've ever had. This will come and it will go. This will pass. Right. But until it does pass, what are we going to do to protect ourselves, protect our families, and just be cautious and just be aware of what we're doing for everybody's sake, not just for our family's sake, but for the sake of society. We have to do what's right.
Right. And remember this, we talk about this here in this community too a lot, is your mindset is everything. So we can be sitting here going, oh man, we worked so hard for this vacation and we had planned it for so long and woe is us. But we're heading it off like, we're going to stay home. The weather here is great. We're going to hang out in the backyard. We're going to barbecue. We're going to read books. We're going to watch a bunch of movies. We're going to hang out with our family and have an amazing time at home. And we feel blessed to be able to do that. And so make sure that you're checking in with your own thought process. Make sure you're checking in with your mindset. Make sure that you stay positive about everything that you're deciding to do. It's always a choice, right? And so don't think that the sky is falling. The sky's not falling. We're home. We're kicking it, right? Take advantage of what you could do. Do that extra little thing with work that you didn't have time for before. Like, soak up the extra time that you have if you're going to pull back on some of the activities that you have been doing. And then use this time as an opportunity to connect with the people that you love and read a book and, do the things that we have decided to do here, because we could make this really, really negative, or we could take advantage of all the opportunities that we are creating for ourselves. And we always say, take advantage of the opportunities that it's creating for you.
And the reason why I say this is not the first or the last coronavirus, a coronavirus is a virus that attacks your lungs. This has happened several times before, like I said, with SARS and different viruses. Well, scientists already know that it's going to repeat. It'll happen again for particular reasons. I'm not going to discuss those reasons here because people have all their different, their views and opinions, and we're not going to get into that today. So do your own research as to why there will be more coronaviruses. And like Diane said, we should always be prepared. We should always be prepared as far as our health and as far as things we need to get through some type of possible pandemic. If you can go on Netflix right now, before this thing even started, they diagrammed every single thing that's happening right now that they talked about would happen with pandemics in the future. So this is nothing new. This is not any big surprise, and it shouldn't be a surprise to any of us. But we do have to have an awareness of this and future events that will happen for sure.
So like I said, on our email, if you're on our email list, we're going to link some of the places that we've done a little research. And one of the talks that we listened to, we talked to people who are like, where they're like virus researchers. So they're not doctors. They've studied these trends with viruses and disease and stuff like that. And it's fascinating to listen to them talk because they don't scare you. They really educate you. And he was saying that one of the biggest risks of people who, with the coronavirus, are people who are obese. Like, think about that. Like, think about how many people are walking around obese, just like not even thinking about that, or could do something about it and just haven't put the time into it yet. So obesity could be that thing that could kill you from the coronavirus. Like that's a scary
Especially
thought.
for the United States
Yeah.
of America,
Yeah.
more than other countries. And he talked about some of the negative things with other countries is they just don't have the facilities, and they don't. I mean, like, luckily it started. I mean, I don't want to say luckily it started anywhere, but it started in China, where they did start to build hospitals, and they did, make sure they had all the equipment and stuff they needed. But there's some countries where there's really high populations that they don't have the medical staff, they don't have the facilities, and if it happens somewhere like that, I mean, you could see something like this going really bad fast.
Yeah, so don't catch yourself in a reactionary state is what we always try to live our life by. Like, we're prepared, and like I say, I always have research in my hip pocket. I'm always ready for a game plan in case something goes astray from what I have planned for myself in my life, and pull out that experience. Like for a lot of the women who've gone through my intermittent fasting for today's Aging Women course, go back into your course and go through the lessons. Go through with the mindset of healing your body. Go through with the mindset of offsetting something that could come at you. Don't worry about weight. Don't worry about what size jeans you wear. Don't worry about any of those things. Just like, how can I prime my body to be in its best defense mode when I'm not looking, right? And that's really what we want to emphasize today, especially and always in this community, is make sure that you are always prepared, that your body is always on its A game to fight off whatever it is you have to fight off if something comes at you and you couldn't keep it away. Because there's some things that come at us that no matter how prepared we are or how great we eat or whatever, or how clean our lifestyle is, there are things that just happen. But how are you going to handle that if it does happen? What's your mindset like? How is your emotional state? How do you handle crisis situations? And are you physically, mentally, and emotionally in a position to handle that situation when you have to face it? And make sure that you're doing that work, this weekend as well, because the things are going to keep changing. We just had a woman in our community say her half marathon was canceled, and so things are going to keep canceling. Things are going to keep tightening down. And how are you going to handle it? And make sure emotionally and mentally you have your game plan in place, so that if something happens that you're not in control of, you're not going to go down that stressful rabbit hole. You're not going to go down that negativity path, because you have a plan in place and you're just going to execute it.
Yeah, because that anxiety and stress will affect your immune system too. So you don't want to go that route.
And remember, when you fast long, you need less food, right? So we don't have to be those people that are frantic about food. We don't have to be those people who are frantic about a lot of the things that a lot of other people are frantic about, because they can't imagine going without things. And we've already proven here in this community that our mind is strong when we need it to be strong, and we train it, and our body can withstand a lot of things if you put it in the right environment. So lean into everything you've learned here, lean into your practices of fasting, and just enjoy your time, right? If things are getting canceled, take it as a gift. You now have time to spend on some other things in your life or with other people as well.
Netflix, people.
Netflix. Get in a show hole. There's nothing wrong with that. Valerie, good to have you with us. And Nadu, good to have you with us as well. Mimi, telecommuting starting next week. Yeah, girlfriend, work from home. I saw a lady, so Michael and I both he has a Peloton bike, I have a Peloton tread. And I saw a lady who now has to telecommute, and she built a desk. She went to Home Depot, got a piece of wood. She had it fit to the top of her treadmill, and she's walking and working from home. Like, that's the way to make the best of a situation where you don't have control over it. So yeah, if you have to work from home, take advantage of that for sure. That is a true gift. Sylvia, good to have you with us. Marcella, good to have you with us. Tiffany, I travel for work, facilitating leadership workshops, and I'm having to go strictly virtual, really stretching me to try new skills. Well, hey, this is a great time to learn a new skill set, right? And so lean into that for sure. There's so many YouTube videos on how to do everything. So use Google, girlfriend, and learn a new skill set, and you never know when that might be able to be something that you can lean into for another situation. So that's a gift, forcing you to learn some new skills. So take advantage of that for sure. And make sure you're checking in with me in the course, girlfriend. I don't know if I've seen you commenting much, Tiffany. Teresa, yeah, she's been affected as well. Tiffany, I go to Disneyland pretty frequently and have been shocked at how full it is. Yeah, Tiffany, we don't understand that either. When we lived in California and we had little kids, we could go to Disneyland. We used to buy a pass at Disneyland for $128 a person, and we could go 4 times in a year. We could switch parks. Like, it was amazing. Now I think it's like $300 a person or something like that. It's nuts. So yeah, Disneyland's crazy, and it is amazing. We're surprised they haven't closed things like that down yet. That will probably be next for sure. And Valerie, hello, girlfriend. Kelly, you've been affected as well. Anna, hello. She hasn't been affected yet. I'm not worried about the coronavirus. I feel people are spreading fear instead of researching the virus. Yeah, yes and no. There's a little bit of both of that for sure. Norma, my daughter, and her brothers are going to a Disney World. I decided not to go. Yeah, good for you. Spectrum, hello. Normal, I heard zinc should not be more than 40 milligrams. Don't know if that is true or not. I don't know. I can't tell you any kind of doses of supplements to take, even though I'm a certified nutrition coach. That's just, you have to just research it and talk to your doctor about that for sure. And then, hello, Diana Michael from New York City. Good to see you with us today. Deanna, thanks for your encouragement in this. Love you guys. Thanks, girlfriend. Heather, I'm always using a glass wipe on my phone, the ones for glasses. Yeah, we use those too. We buy them at Costco in like 500 box packs, and we have them everywhere. So yeah, make sure you're keeping things cleaned off for sure. And then Kelly, half marathon canceled in Moab Saturday. Yeah, you're the one I was talking about. You know, and here's things, you know, you can always find a gift in those kind of things, right? So she's going to go to Moab anyways and probably run her half marathon. You know, if something like that you've been training for gets canceled, it's okay. Run your half marathon at home as if that was a race, or get on your treadmill. I've run half marathons on my treadmill when I didn't want to go to a race. I've run them around my neighborhood before. Again, it's that mindset thing. You can find a win in every situation. So make sure you're that person that can unwrap a gift and really find a present inside of it for sure. Let's see, Heather, hygiene should always be a daily thing. Yeah. That's why it's always shocking when things like this happen and people freak out. Joyce, great presentation. So many shortages appearing in stores. Yeah, for sure. You know, now's a good time to be less wasteful too, right? Like, it's probably a really good time for us to be frugal about some of these things that we have in our everyday life that we might be taking for granted and maybe using them in an abundance when we could probably pull back from a couple of things. So for sure on that one. And then Shelly, hello, September 2019 grad, taking my supplements, lots of water, feasting well. No need to fast longer, not taking extra risks. Yeah. And then Tiffany, I'm laughing, just got that Diane call out. Girlfriend, where are you at? Where are your comments in the IF course? Guess who's going to comment within the next hour? Yeah, you better, girl, because I have been looking for you. And I thought, well, maybe she's busy with work, or maybe she's on vacation with her family. But now you're on notice, so I expect to hear from you for sure. Suzanne, let's see. Suzanne Paul, we have a Mediterranean cruise booked for the fall, wondering if we should cancel it. I wouldn't. I would wait to see what they do. The one thing that they said, one of the experts that we were talking to who studies these kind of diseases said, the worst thing that we are doing as a society and making a call with cruise ships is that leaving people on a cruise ship, like quarantining people in an infected environment, is the dumbest thing that they could be doing right now. So, you know, it's one of those personal choices. I'd say I wouldn't feel pressured if you're feeling pressured to cancel it. I would ride it out a little bit and see. Our daughter has a trip to Washington, D.C. canceled at the end, or planned for the end of May, and they haven't canceled it yet. We're not going to cancel it on her. We're going to kind of ride it out and see what they do, and they'll make the best call that they need to make for the kids. But I would ride it out. Fall's still a long way away. So
well, the worst thing about it being on a cruise ship, in my opinion, would be I just don't want to be stuck somewhere. I mean, like, at least if I got it at home, I can quarantine myself at home, or, you know, you could go to a local hospital or whatever. But to be stuck on a cruise ship, just the thought of that it would just drive me crazy.
So when we were talking about this with our kids, I told Michael, I didn't say it in front of the kids yet, but I said my biggest fear about Disneyland is not the coronavirus itself. My biggest fear at Disneyland is someone leaving Disneyland being diagnosed with the coronavirus and then asking them, oh, where were you last? Oh, Disneyland. And then they shut the gates of Disneyland and we're on the inside. Like, I don't want to be stuck inside.
Matterhorn for a month.
Yes, I told Michael, I'm like, I don't want to sleep on the Matterhorn with hundreds of thousands of crazy people freaking out about the fact that they hadn't planned that to be stuck in Disneyland for weeks. And we have a dog that's going to be boarded up. And what are we going to do with her if we end up in some quarantine thing at Disneyland and we can't get out? And so the risks of something happening out of our control were more than the benefit. And I always teach that here. You have to weigh the risks and the benefits. And me sleeping on the Matterhorn for a couple of weeks with a bunch of crazy people who start running out of food and water and start panicking, no thank you. I will go at another time. And so you have to think about those kind of things too. What if you were to get stuck in quarantine on a cruise ship? Make sure you're prepared for that before you go. Then it might be an easier decision for you. Like if you have everything locked up and worst case scenario, you get stuck somewhere, it might not be a problem for you. But I don't think people are even thinking that far forward. Like, do you have someone to watch your home? Do you have someone who could pay your bills? Do you have someone who can watch your animals if you had to board them up? And all those things should be put in place before you go on those kind of things, I think, anyway. But like, we never think that far in advance, but we did this time for sure. And then Anna, I'm glad you were able to catch us. I know you're tuning in from Japan. It's always good to have you. Juliana, tuning in from Australia, June 2019 grad, loving my daily fasting routine. Great advice. Thank you for addressing this issue. I'll watch from the start later. Yeah, thanks so much, girlfriend. Fast long, feast well. It's the best thing you could do.
And this stuff is not to try to scare anybody. We're not about hysteria. You know, it's just, it is what it is. And like I said in the beginning, we just don't have enough information about this. We don't know we know how to handle the flu. Yes, thousands of people die from the flu every year, but we don't know about this. We don't know like when it's going to stop. We don't know. We don't have a remedy. We don't have a cure for it. So how long is it going to last? How far can it spread? That's why it has to be contained. You don't want it to be a pandemic because you don't know how to handle what this virus is. So that's why people get crazy.
Natural Beauty, thanks for joining us from the Bahamas. Girlfriend, wish we were at the Bahamas right now. Eunice, yes, so what if people buy extra whatever? At least they'll be prepared in case they do get sick and can't go out to the store or plan. Yeah, that's what I say too. Like, why is everybody so critical? Like, if you want to go out and buy 2 cases of toilet paper, more power to you. That maybe means that you didn't have any before that. If you came to my house right now, we have an extra closet in our guest room that is loaded with piles of toilet paper, piles of paper towels, and piles of Kleenex and piles of wipes.
That was pre-coronavirus.
Pre-coronavirus. That's just me. I feel better when my shelves are stocked. My pantry is always that way. My fridge is always that way. Like, we rarely run out of anything. We have a, saying that we have, like, there's the mom store. The mom store is an extra cupboard we have in our house that has the second and third thing of peanut butter because I don't like when we run out of things. And so we should always be living this way. That way, if there is a crisis, you're not perceived as the crazy person going to the store to buy 2 things of toilet paper. Maybe it was just your time to go load up on toilet paper. Who knows? But yeah, let's not make fun of people. We don't know what causes that reaction in people. Part of the reason I overstock my house and we have a mom pantry is because I lived in an environment growing up where food was always in scarcity. So I don't ever like that feeling. I feel like my family is safe and everybody's going to be okay if the house is full of things. I don't like not having tissue in our house. So we have a stockpile of it. So that's my thing, right? From my childhood. So other people have their things. So we don't know why people react that way, and we should not make that our business. Let them buy their toilet paper. I looked for hand sanitizer when we realized, like, oh, this is a serious thing, is when we just happened to replenish our hand sanitizer and we couldn't find it anywhere. Like, every shelf at Walmart, all the hand sanitizers were gone, and I was like, whoa, this is serious. Like, we need to find some hand sanitizer. And so let's just keep our personal habits to ourselves and not make fun of people, not ridicule people. If your friend decides they want to cancel a vacation, don't make fun of them. Have them over for dinner if they're going to be around the neighborhood or something like that. And I think the more we try to understand people and love on them, the less panic there's going to be, the less fear there is going to be, and the more we can start to work in a system that we can help each other. And that really is how we're going to get through these kind of crises for sure. Okay, lots of people joined in. Thanks so much. Colleen, you guys are so positive. Thank you so much. Nicole, I guess they're in the Bahamas together. That's nice. Katrina, great advice. Love your mindset. Thanks so much. And mindset is a choice. Remember, you guys, everything we do, if you decide that, hey, the coronavirus is a drill for you. Let's say it's a drill instead of a panic, right? How are we going to respond and react to this and prepare in case coronavirus number whatever, this is number 7 of coronaviruses, what if number 8 comes up? Next time, you'll already be like, psh, we handled the coronavirus the last time it came around. We're set because now we're always prepared, right? And then we stop being so reactionary. So use this as a drill, set up some things, talk it over with your family, what systems you have in place, what lifestyle habits are you gonna start incorporating now and keep going forever, right? Because don't start and stop something just because there's a panic. Create lifestyles that you want to have last all through the time when things like this happen. I just read the Delay Don't Deny book. Have you heard of it? Yeah, I do, and I don't believe in that philosophy, but that she has a great book, and I know she's helped a lot of people. So I always admire anyone, especially women who are in this community doing things for good people. But for me, it's not the philosophy that I live by, and I don't necessarily believe in that, but I know, like I said, it's a great book, and she's a great woman. So if it worked for you, then I'm super happy for that. Merlinda, walking more than 2 miles to work. Good for you, girlfriend. And then Tiffany, my adult son works at Disneyland, and I'm obviously checking in on him, literally having Amazon shipments sent to him with supplements, cleaners. Got to keep that kid well. Yeah, for sure. And you're doing great things as a mom. Just anything you could do to safeguard him is going to be great. And I'm sure Disneyland has their practices in place too. They're a great place to work. And then Marianne, we have one case here in Ontario. Yeah, they're popping up everywhere. Awesome. Okay, positive is the only way to be, people. So make sure you're keeping that work on pace too, right?
Yeah, just stay positive, and there's no reason for us to be hysterical, but we do have to be mindful for sure.
Yeah. All right, so for those of you on our email list, remember we're going to put some links to some research sites that we have been listening to. Super informative, not the medical industry, but actual people who study these kind of things. It's fascinating things to listen to, so we'll get that out to you guys this weekend. And then Fast Long Feast Well. Make sure you're tapping into your course. If you are a graduate, the information is still there for you. It's always a really good time to refresh and renew this lifestyle that we know is proving to work for so many of us for so many reasons. So we'll see you guys around. We're around on spring break, so we're going to be kicking it at home, doing some gardening and sitting out in the backyard. We hope you guys have an amazing entry into your spring, however you're at practicing that with your family.
If you're not on the email list, get on the email list.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Okay, we'll see you guys soon. We'll see you guys on Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then we'll see you limitedly on social media because we are taking a little bit of a social media break as well.
A little bit.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye.